traffic information on those evacuation areas, you can go to VENTURAReady.org, and you'll find that information there. There'll also be some information at the end of this press conference for telephone calls as well. There's over 150 structures that have been damaged or destroyed. We anticipate learning more. We have teams on order and a few on the ground now inspecting those areas. Some of the areas we have not been able to get into to determine the total numbers because of the fire behavior that continues to challenge us. There's still over 3,000 structures that are threatened. As you may have recognized, there's a number of infrastructure threats, whether it's been the power line, there's been impacts to the agricultural assets that we're all trying to protect with the group that's here tonight. I'd like to thank you again for coming out. I'll be available at the close for further comments. Thank you.
News conference going on, and
for briefing on our weather, Rich Thompson.
Ventura, this is the Thomas fire we're talking about here.
Good afternoon. Rich Thompson is a meteorologist with the National Weather Service. A quick review of what happened last night and then today. We had a moderate to strong CNN wind event that developed across Ventura County. We had wind gusts last night and this morning anywhere from 35 to 50 miles per hour across the fire area. Relative humidity has dropped down anywhere between 3 and 10%. A combination of those gusty Santa Ana winds and the very low relative humidity led to explosive fire growth, which you see now, as the commander said, over 50,000 acres as we speak. Forecast-wise for tonight and tomorrow, we're expecting the Santa Ana winds to decrease in intensity, probably looking for gusts around maybe between 20 and 35 miles per hour tonight and tomorrow. But conditions still remain very, very dry, so we're still going to be red flag conditions. Still have red flag warning in effect for the area until 8 p.m. Friday evening. So again, weaker winds tonight and tomorrow. However, again, by late tomorrow night into Thursday, those Santa Ana winds are expected to increase again in strength. Probably looking for wind speed very similar to last night and this morning, so probably by Wednesday night, Thursday morning, you're going to see wind gusts again around this area of 35 to 50 miles per hour. And again, with relative humidity still remaining in the 3 to 10% range. So the very, very critical fire conditions we're expecting across the area through Thursday and even to Friday.
News conference happening in Ventura County.
For information on fire behavior, Tim Chavez. Good evening. My name is Tim Chavez. I'm the fire behavior analyst for Incident Management Team 4. My job is to try to predict the fire's behavior so that we can use that information about what the fire will do next to modify our tactics so that they're the best efficient tactics we can use and for the safety of the firefighters and the public. You might wonder why we haven't had a Santa Ana fire outbreak like this in a while, and I think it comes down to mostly the fact that what's important is in the fall, the sequence that happens. Do we get rain first or do we get winds first? And in the last 5 or 10 years, we've gotten a little bit of rain in the September, October, November period before we've gotten any strong winds. So once the grass comes up, the fire danger kind of abates, and we don't get these multi-fire outbreaks. This year, however, no rain came in September, October, November in Southern California. So we have incredibly desiccated dry fuels. And then when we get a first couple of Santa Ana wind outbreaks, which are not that unusual in the fall, winter, and spring, that combined with the dry fuels results in what you see today. Thank you.
27,000 people evacuated here.
Our unit for the rest of our Unified Command. First will be Chief David Ndaya with Ventura City Fire Department.
Good evening, and thank you. On behalf of the City of Ventura, we would like to thank all the agencies and cooperators that have assisted this city over the last 24 hours in mitigating this out-of-control wildfire. We'd also like to thank our community. Our community made it possible for us to do our jobs. We successfully evacuated 27,000 residents last night over a 2 to 3 hour period late last night, which is about 25% of our population in the city. They allowed us to do our jobs by heeding our warnings, listening to law enforcement, and we do appreciate that. And they made it so that we could do our job and try and tackle this fire to the best of our ability as the City Fire Department with the assistance of everyone standing behind me and many other cooperators. We would like to remind this community of www.dcalert.org. That is how you sign up to be notified about evacuating the way that these residents did last night. Again, that's vcalert.org, and we would like you to sign up for that so that we can reach you in times of crisis or disaster. And lastly, we want to reassure our community here in the city that we have been working diligently within all of our city departments in our Emergency Operations Center to get the city back on its feet after this fire has blown through, and to make sure that we return to normal operations as soon as possible. Thank you.
This is the 50,000-acre Thomas Fire in Ventura County. 150 structures destroyed. I think he's going to wait for the chopper to wait for the helicopter, yeah. Of note there, the 27,000 people evacuated a quarter of the city of Ventura, USA. Well, they did it within a few hours. You saw the traffic jam.
But very good to hear.
Got out.
We'll now move with Ventura County Sheriff.
Did we lose it? Looks like we may have lost our feed. All right. But the Ventura County Sheriff is going to come up and talk next, as they were saying. But so we'll let you know if we get that back. They talked about the winds, the humidity level, of course, leading to all of this. It's how the fire got so big overnight. They couldn't fly, and they still can't fly in many cases. The fixed wings, they can't take off when the winds are these strong. They say it'll decrease tonight into tomorrow, but we could see the winds go right back up over the next few days as well. These red flag conditions into Friday.